Soyo Shigan, 8 seconds. What if the President of the United States was rewriting the rules of finance, and the biggest winner was his own family? Soyo Shigan, 15 seconds, right now. A single piece of legislation moving through Congress could funnel billions of dollars into crypto projects directly tied to the Trump family. And here's the part that should make your jaw drop. The very agencies supposed to stop this are being stripped of their power to do so. The most shocking part? We'll get to that. Soyo Shigan, 35 seconds. You're watching the biggest financial power grab in modern American history unfold in real time. And almost nobody is talking about it the right way. Washington is fast-tracking new crypto regulations under the banner of innovation and clarity. But insiders, ethics watchdogs, and even members of Congress are sounding the alarm. These laws aren't designed for you. They're designed for one family. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the Clarity Act, the Trump family's sprawling crypto empire, and how the two are connected in ways that should concern every single American, regardless of your politics. This isn't left versus right. This is about whether the rules of money should be rewritten by the people who profit from them the most. Soyo Shigan, 90 seconds. Let's set the stage. For years, the crypto industry existed in a regulatory gray zone. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, treated most cryptocurrencies like securities. That means strict rules. You have to disclose your finances, register with the government, and follow investor protection laws. Think of it like this. If crypto were a car, the SEC wanted every vehicle inspected, insured, and licensed before it hit the road. The crypto industry hated this. They argued it was killing innovation. Then came the 2024 election. Trump, who once called Bitcoin a scam, did a complete 180. He became crypto's loudest champion, and the industry poured over $200 million into election campaigns backing crypto-friendly candidates. Now, here's where the payoff begins. In July 2025, the House passed the Clarity Act, short for the Clarity for the Regulation of Digital Assets. The name sounds boring on purpose, but what it does is seismic. It takes regulatory authority away from the SEC and hands it to the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Why does that matter? Because the CFTC has a fraction of the SEC's budget, a fraction of its staff, and historically, a much lighter touch. Imagine replacing a guard dog with a goldfish. That's the shift we're talking about. And this bill is now moving through the Senate, with the president publicly demanding it be passed immediately. But here's where things take a turn. Soyo Shigan, 130 seconds. Let me walk you through the Trump family's crypto portfolio, because this is where the conflict of interest becomes impossible to ignore. First, there's World Liberty Financial, or WLFI. This is a decentralized finance platform launched in late 2024 with direct ties to the Trump family. Reports indicate the family holds a significant stake, with some estimates suggesting they could earn hundreds of millions if the platform succeeds. Then there are the meme coins. In early 2025, tokens branded with the Trump name launched and briefly surged to multi-billion-dollar market capitalizations. Early holders, including those connected to the family, reportedly made enormous profits while many retail investors who bought in later lost money. Now, let me do some math with you, because numbers don't lie. If you do the math on what the Clarity Act actually changes, the picture gets wild. Under current SEC rules, WLFI and similar Trump-linked tokens would likely need to register as securities. That means public financial disclosures, audits, and liability for misleading investors. The estimated compliance cost? Tens of millions of dollars per project, plus the legal risk of enforcement actions. Under the Clarity Act's framework, these same tokens get reclassified as digital commodities. Registration requirements? Gone. Mandatory disclosures? Gone. SEC enforcement authority? Dramatically reduced. We're talking about potentially saving the Trump family's ventures hundreds of millions in compliance costs alone. while simultaneously removing the legal tools that could hold them accountable. That's not a coincidence. That's architecture. And the scariest part is yet to come. 핵심 포인트, Trump family's WLFI platform and meme coin ventures, calculation, hundreds of millions saved in compliance costs under Clarity Act. Reclassification removes accountability mechanisms. Soyoshigan 130 seconds. In March 2026, something unprecedented happened. The SEC and CFTC jointly released new interpretive guidance on digital assets. On the surface, it looked like two agencies cooperating. But when you read the fine print, it establishes a specific taxonomy for digital assets, including digital commodities, digital tools, and digital securities. Critics argue that by classifying assets into these categories, it creates loopholes that fall outside SEC jurisdiction. But here's another side to this story, and it's important to be fair. Supporters of the Clarity Act argue that clear rules actually help the entire industry, not just politically connected players. They point out that thousands of legitimate crypto startups have been paralyzed by regulatory uncertainty, unable to raise money or launch products because they don't know which rules apply. And that's a real problem. The crypto industry has been begging for clarity for years. The counter-argument, though, is devastating. If this were truly about helping everyone, why does the bill contain no provisions preventing sitting government officials from profiting off the very regulations they shape? Why was the so-called Stop Trump in Crypto Act, an amendment specifically designed to address presidential conflicts of interest, blocked from being added to the bill? Senator Elizabeth Warren put it bluntly, "You don't get to be the referee and the team owner at the same time." This is actually connected to something much bigger than crypto. It's connected to a fundamental question about American democracy. Can the person writing the rules also be the person who profits from them? Now, this is where things get even crazier. 핵심 포인트. March 2026 joint SEC-CFTC guidance establishes digital asset taxonomy. Counter-argument. Legitimate startups need regulatory clarity. Stop Trump in Crypto Act amendment blocked. Soyoshigan 130 seconds. There's a second front in this battle that directly affects your wallet. Banks are terrified. And honestly, they should be. The Clarity Act, combined with the stablecoin legislation also moving through Congress, creates a framework where crypto companies can offer bank-like services without bank-like regulations. Stablecoins, digital tokens pegged to the dollar, could become a parallel banking system. And Trump has reportedly warned traditional banks not to obstruct his crypto agenda. Let me paint you a picture of what this means in practice. Right now, your bank deposits are insured by the FDIC up to $250,000. If your bank fails, the government has your back. Stablecoins? No such guarantee. If a stablecoin issuer collapses, and history shows us this can happen. Remember Terra USD in 2022, your money could vanish overnight. Now let's project forward. At the current rate of growth in stablecoin adoption, and with the regulatory tailwinds from the Clarity Act, industry analysts estimate that stablecoin deposits could reach $2 trillion within 3 years. That's $2 trillion sitting outside the traditional banking safety net. $2 trillion that, if something goes wrong, has no FDIC insurance, no lender of last resort, and under the new rules, minimal federal oversight. And who's positioned to capture a massive share of this market? Projects like WLFI, which is already building stablecoin infrastructure. The Trump family isn't just benefiting from deregulation. They're positioning themselves to become the new bankers, operating in a system they helped design, with rules they helped write, and protections they helped eliminate. So what does this all add up to? 핵심 포인트, stablecoins as parallel uninsured banking system, future projection. $2 trillion in stablecoin deposits within 3 years outside FDIC protection. Trump-linked ventures positioned to capture stablecoin market share. Soyoshigan, 80 seconds. I looked into this deeply and here's my honest take. The Clarity Act isn't purely evil, and it isn't purely good. The crypto industry genuinely needed clearer rules, but the timing, the structure, and the beneficiaries tell a story that's impossible to ignore. When you strip away the political talking points, here's what you're left with. A sitting president with direct financial ties to crypto projects is actively pushing legislation that removes oversight from those exact projects. The agencies tasked with protecting investors are being defunded and defanged. And the one amendment that could have addressed the conflict of interest was killed before it reached a vote. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's all happening in plain sight. In public votes, in signed executive orders, in published regulatory guidance. The hidden connection most people miss is this: it's not just about crypto. This sets a precedent. If a president can reshape financial regulation to benefit their family's businesses today, what stops the next president from doing the same with AI, with energy, with healthcare? The Clarity Act might be about digital assets, but its real legacy could be normalizing something far more dangerous: the merger of political power and private profit at the highest level of government. 핵심 포인트, balanced assessment. Real need for clarity exploited for private gain. Precedent-setting danger beyond crypto. Merger of political power and private profit. Soyo Shigan, 40 seconds. The Clarity Act is still in the Senate. Its fate is not sealed. But the direction is clear, and the momentum is strong. Whether you're a crypto believer or a skeptic, this matters to you. Because at its core, this isn't really about blockchain or tokens or digital commodities. It's about whether the people who write the rules of money should be allowed to profit from them. It's about whether transparency and accountability still mean anything when billions of dollars are on the line. The answer to that question will shape American finance for a generation. Soyo Shigan, 20 seconds. What do you think? Is the Clarity Act genuine innovation or a billion-dollar loophole? Drop your take in the comments. If this video opened your eyes, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Thanks for watching.